All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the August meeting of the Reinvestment and Workforce Committee. I'll start off by a quick roll call. Kyle Abercrombie, Corey Betts,
Present.
Andrea Comer, Avery Gaddis,
Here.
Andrea Hawkins,
Present.
Michael Jefferson, Shirley Skyers Thomas, Kelly Marie Valeries, and Kevin Walton.
Present.
And myself, Ladrella, here. So we've got at least 6 of the 10, so we have quorum. Next item on the agenda is our approval of the April 16th, 2025 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Corey.
Second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion seconded by Councilwoman Hawkins. Any discussions, changes? All in favor? Indicate by
Aye.
saying aye. Any opposition or abstentions? All right, that passes. With that, I hope everyone's been having a great summer. It's been a bit since we last met, but there has been a lot of good work underway, led by Director McGee and the staff around our community reinvestment process. So I know he's got some updates for us today on that, as well as some conversation around our workforce and educational opportunities. So, Director McGee, I will turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chairwoman, and to all the members of the committee, thank you as well. Before I move along here, you're right, Chairwoman. The last time we met was in April 16th, and I have enjoyed our quarterly meetings because it gives us time to analyze and digest to better inform all of our programs administered here at the SEC. I also would want to thank all of the staff here, in particular, Madi. Thank you for your support on a lot of this reinvestment work and making sure all of our legal matters associated with this program that they're all adhered to and that we fully understand it. So thank y'all. If you could put up the deck, greatly appreciated. And just to flag, just in case I need to lean on y'all, Caesar, just kind of be ready if we have any questions regarding workforce numbers, you and Tiffany. All right, next slide. All right, so I'm going to jump right on in. Again, thank you so much to the chair and the Reinvestment and Workforce Development Committee members. As you all know, the Reinvestment and Workforce Committee is responsible for several things as clearly articulated in our statute. Chief among them is to really assess all of our programs associated with reinvestment and workforce development, and to also develop action plans to ensure equitable access to resources shared by the SEC for DIAs throughout the state of Connecticut. Since our last meeting, the SEC staff and our partners have been working diligently over the last quarter to recalibrate as a team, analyze data to inform programs and inform strategies for greater impact. And to that end, my report is broken into 2 categories. I'll kick it off with the community reinvestment, as you can see in the column there, and end off with our workforce development educational opportunities. For the Revitalize and Reimagine program, the council, as you all know, we issued an RFP to hire qualified grant managers as a first step in a 2-step process to ensure integrity and effectiveness of the program. As you can see, and I'm not going to read each bullet verbatim, but I do want to highlight in particular, the council intends to extend 1 contract per region, targeted region. The targeted regions, as you can see, are as follows: Bridgeport, Danbury, Hartford, East Hartford, Meriden, New Britain, New Haven, East Haven, West Haven, New London, Norwich, Wyndham, Norwalk, Stamford, and lastly, Waterbury. Um, and for the sake of this audience, and I know a lot of you have heard this information, but for those who will watch this video later, and just for our archiving purposes, I can speak. These account for about 194 of Connecticut's 237 disproportionately impacted census tracts. That is huge, that is important, and I think this committee should be made aware that our goal is to impact all 237 DIAs, but to start off with at least, I'm not a mathematician here, but at least 60, over 70% of the census tracts is extremely important. The other important piece is that the proposals are due by Wednesday, September 3rd at 4 p.m. You can find the full details on the SEC website, along with frequently asked questions regarding the process. Lastly, on the community reinvestment front, it is extremely important that the committee understands the two-step process for the R2 program. One, as I've already mentioned, is hiring general or grant managers. And the other includes the SEC working alongside selected grant managers to establish a notice of funding. So you may hear from people, a lot of leaders who lead community-based organizations. How can we get this money? How can we, take advantage of these opportunities? Their opportunity will come. Right now, we are working on hiring grant managers. SEC program managers will work alongside the identified grant manager to establish that notice of funding opportunity. Any questions so far? I have one more minor update related to R2, and then we can take it from there. Any questions on that? Cool. To date, as of today, August 20th, just to give you a sense of the number of RFPs received to date, we have a total of 5 received to date. Obviously, while we still have a couple more weeks to receive proposals, my office has shared information with the legislature's Black and Puerto Rican caucus leadership and members and other trusted stakeholders who can assist us in sharing the RFP with prospective grant managers in their regions. So we're still looking for proposals from Bridgeport, Danbury, Meriden, West Haven, East Haven, New Haven, Norwalk, and Stamford, just so that the council can be made aware of the opportunity that still exists. So I am encouraging you all, please share the RFP with your prospective grant managers in the areas you represent, and not limited to, right? Cast a big and wide net and have them submit a proposal. Okay. Moving on, if there are no questions regarding.
Brendan, we do have a question.
So Brandon, is there an email that I could forward to my list of folks? We have about 400 people for conferences that we're doing that has the RFP, and if you can forward it, I'm happy to, because we've been doing a lot of listening sessions and other organizations aren't aware of the RFP.
Yeah. So I will say this, I have, and I'm only saying it because, again, we're recorded here and I want other people to know the efforts that the staff has put in place. We've shared it with the council, okay? We've shared it on multiple fronts, and I just want to make sure that you all are aware of that. Summer months, it could be somewhere in boxes, it's okay. But to your point, we do have templates so that it is made easier for you to communicate accurate information You're not going above and beyond. You're sharing the clear information with all of your partners to respond to the RFP. So as soon as we wrap this meeting up, I'll share that with this committee, and I'll also remind the larger council during our regular council meeting as well. And that's a great question, because BPRC asked the same question. They're like, we want to share it, but how do we articulate it? Because we don't want to mess it up. And I'm like, we got you. So we're good. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So moving on to the workforce development. The goal of the Workforce Development Committee, we all know, or initiative of this committee, is guided by statute, led by the SEC strategic plan, and is data-driven, consisting of the following pillars. And I will also note that you'll hear me refer to this particular initiative. I'm going to add educational programming to the title. But our three pillars consist of support for social equity entrepreneurs, accessible and sustainable training pathways, and alignment with our equity goals. Again, I'm not going to read the descriptions there. You all have it, but I just want to call it out so that you all know we have some focus here. And utilizing, using the governor's workforce strategy plan, which has been commissioned by the Office of Workforce Strategies, in particular, the objectives and key strategies clearly are outlined in the plan have continued to be used as a framework for more in-depth and intentional work on behalf of the entrepreneurs who do a couple of things. They seek to benefit from SEC-related programs. They desire and yearn for a place of information sharing and safe places. This information should also, be home to residents of our DIAs for greater access to educational opportunities, and not only or solely for cannabis. It is both for cannabis and non-cannabis educational opportunities. Lastly, we are, as an organization, we are on par with the identified quarterly goals and deadlines shared in our 3-year strategic plan. And currently, we are in conversation with the Connecticut college system, industry partners, and DIA residents, that's both cannabis establishments, as well, to create programming for DIA residents. Any questions regarding the Workforce Development Educational Committee?
Right. I just want to make sure I understand this a little bit better. So I think, are we saying we're going to start doing these things? I mean, all of these things are, require a decent amount of lift. Is it that we're looking to accomplish these things through leveraging our R2 program, or separately, are we looking to accomplish these things through staff or another vehicle?
Great question, and thanks for asking, Chairwoman. This is separate from the R2 program. The R2 program is very clear in that it will support 3 program priority areas. That is our economic development, our reentry programming, and also youth initiatives. Aside, or if you juxtapose the two, we're working almost simultaneously, right? So there are individuals who hail from DIAs that might be interested in educational opportunities. That also consists of providing certifications to individuals who are currently employed or who seek to be employed by established cannabis establishments. There are also individuals who want to start a business, and they too are interested in these workforce development opportunities. I believe from my perspective and on behalf of our research team and staff, we really wanted to just pause a second on workforce development and educational opportunities, assess where we are, better understand OWS's strategies outlined in their plan, and then make sense of it in our world on the SEC side to better support our ecosystem. So we've not yet procured any dollars for any of these programs, but it's long overdue. And I want to say that out loud. We have individuals, we have businesses that are seeking our support, but I wanted to make sure that we had, first of all, redesigned programs for sustained support, sustainability. And at the moment, we're not there yet.
Yep. Now that makes a lot of sense. Just wanted to make sure that we're clear on like, we're not necessarily actively creating the programs right now, but more in a research and exploratory phase. It may be helpful as you sort of go deeper into this for this committee to be able to see maybe kind of what that tiered approach might look like. For example, when I look at number one, right, the support for social equity entrepreneurs, the staff is already doing some of this. It might not be as comprehensive as like we want to make sure is available, but there
Yep.
is a lot that the staff is doing on that front, right? And other organizations as well. So as you think about, as you all do the research and explore the landscape and get your arms around like, okay, what exists and where are the gaps, it'd be helpful to also think about it from a phased approach versus like trying to do all of it at once, which would be
Yeah.
very challenging.
To your point, we're already doing this stuff. One of the challenges that the SEC has had prior to my arrival was really articulating the evolution, the program side of the house, and also the framework by which the SEC is to administer programs so that everyone understands we're all trending toward one big, massive goals, but there are multiple tracks by which we're able to get there. And, within this workforce and educational opportunities section, again, just to underscore what you said, Chairwoman, we are currently doing a lot of work in each of these three categories. What I am seeking to do is crystallize it even more so that on the community reinvestment side, you can look at the impact and draw lines from all of our programs. We're working toward one major impact, and that is to reimagine these communities on all fronts that are called out in the statute.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Councilor Venator?
Yeah. So I am sorry if I'm speaking out of line about this because I haven't read the whole report and I just downloaded the governor's report. But one of the things that excited me about an earlier version of this presentation is the possibility of doing some data collection. And by this, I mean, I can imagine all the recipients of funds and all the participants here doing a reporting, I don't know, once a year or X amount of time that collects X number of data that can then be compared to whatever we establish as a baseline. And then say, this is the real impact that these funds have in the community. You're employing X number of members from this DIA. These people live here, they're renting here. I mean, so developing some sort of reporting system that can measure all of this and demonstrate the actual impact without having to do a large survey. We can do it through a reporting survey, but also
Well,
have some standards.
Yeah, I will say to that very point, Dr. Valentine, I'm just going to speak it out loud, so one day you'll become that. We are working internally with the team here on establishing, and thank you so much, Dr. Venator, for your support on helping to establish what we are tentatively calling a nonprofit DIA map of another. But the purpose in this map is really to highlight all of the investments made by our social equity entrepreneurs or our Arcana business establishments by submission of their social equity and workforce development plans to better understand what is the impact. And furthermore, are you living up to what you articulated in your social equity plans? You said you're going to give X amount of hours toward a local organization. Did you do so, and how? We want to acknowledge what these businesses are doing. We also want to be able to say, look at the impact the Social Equity Council in partnership with our businesses have had in these DIAs. And again, it's not loosey-goosey. This work is guided by social determinants of health, and we're able to then draw it back to those determinants to better articulate, look what we've done. 90% of our young people are reading at grade level because of the contributions made by social equity entrepreneurs. So to your point, it's a larger conversation, but we're slowly developing a database that I think we can scale at some point to better articulate the impact.
I think we have another question
I
from
just got
Councilor.
one quick question. Great job, Executive Director McGee. I do have a quick question for you as far as the workforce development and the educational piece, right? Which
Yes,
is
sir.
very important. I think, well, my question is, as far as having employers who are like, once these individuals go through that workforce, that certificate, or whatever it is that they're looking to advance in their careers, are we making sure that we're connecting to those employers to making sure that we're not just getting them the training, but they're also getting a job at the back end as well?
Yes, that is extremely important to me. And having met with a lot of residents of the DIA, take your hat off as an SEC member, but heavily involved in NAACP statewide, just to name that organization in particular. That's one of the things that's important to me. We can train people to train people to train people, but training to no end is not helpful or beneficial to the individual. So I think, if you don't mind, Madam Chair, this might be a great segue. I can deepen my response to Councilman Betts by sharing some updates on the 2025 council market outlook. As you all know, as a result of the 2025 legislative session, one of the major requests among many, the SEC, we wanted to better understand the landscape and take full control, not control, but maybe not a great way to describe it, but be in the front seat of the conversation regarding all things related to the Social Equity Council. And as you can see, we are gathering leaders from youth serving organizations to business to municipalities to help us better understand, for example, in the marketplace, we have two individuals who will help lead us on conversations regarding cannabis and non-cannabis related business industry best and common practices. So we want to better understand, what are the challenges in the cannabis industry? How can we create certifications and programs for individuals to work, to establish businesses? What are we not doing? The marketplace is also consisting of everything you see at the top in that paragraph, of which I will not read. Okay. The other piece is the non-cannabis side of the house, which will be chaired by the CEO of CBIA, is to understand what are some of our business, if not all, are doing to help us establish infrastructure in some of these DIAs, if not all. Help us to deepen the conversation and reimagining some of those industry partners, I'll put it, to help us reimagine workforce in the city of Hartford or Bridgeport or New London. And how best can they partner with us to make that a reality? So it is a real start to a much larger conversation that has been happening rather in silos. I'd love to hear it from our perspective to them. What are your thoughts on it? Likewise, municipal relations. As you can see, we have Mayor of Hartford and a mayor from Wallingford. It's funny, we had a conversation yesterday. I've been meeting with all the chairs together to scope out our goals and all that good stuff. And the mayor, Servani, he says, "You do know that we don't support it." And I'm like, I love that. And I want to hear your perspective as to the why. So that is even more of a reason why you are invited to this table, and we welcome a diverse perspective on the cannabis industry, but also as we inform this quote unquote toolkit for municipalities, we want to highlight the opportunities in this as well. The 3% tax benefit that many of our municipalities will benefit from and have been benefiting from, not limited to. And then lastly, we talk a lot about youth. We talk about young adults. We have two amazing organizations, one, Hartford Communities That Care, and Bridgeport Caribe Youth Leaders will help to lead those conversations. I will say this, we're not here to promote cannabis to young people, okay? It's extremely important that I say that, and I say that for the masses when they read and listen to this video, okay? We are seeking to deepen awareness. We want to glean from their perspective in an effort to better understand how do we have these conversations with our young people, with organizations that engage with young people, and further educate many of our legislators who are like, whoa, we don't want to have this conversation, and we should. So I'm excited about it. Everyone on this council or this committee is invited to participate on any subcommittee that you so choose. We are also accepting recommendations for organizations and individuals to serve as a member of the subcommittee. We have our kickoff meeting on September 24th at 10 a.m. at the Legislative Office Building. Governor Lamont and a few other folks have been invited to participate in the kickoff meeting. And I'll pause there.
Thank you. That's awesome sauce. Thank you.
We have a question from Councilman Walton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Executive Director McGee, and especially addressing the youth component of this, because I recall, I think in our last meeting, one of our last meetings, I asked specifically about our role in supporting young people, especially around preventive messaging. And so my question becomes, will any of the reinvestment funds be allocated or invested into the work of this Outlook working group, in particular around the areas of youth involvement?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a two-part response. One, we want to use a lot of the information gathered from these conversations to inform the next iteration of our programs. And also legislatively, we may come out with some recommendations. But I think it's important to note that we have funds available in the Revitalize and Reimagine program, specifically for youth initiatives. So we're already supporting in that regard. But to your direct question, my hope is that maybe we do come out, with some sort of a recommendation to establish some fund for a campaign around youth and youth-related items, in addition to the R2 program. It might just be that, but at this point, no funding has been associated with the working group as it's currently written, but we are definitely open to it.
If I may,
and for the record, I'd love for you to be a part of that committee to help direct some of our subcommittee chairpersons, given the work that you do.
Yeah, and I appreciate that opportunity. I just want to be on record saying that, given the involvement of young people with whether it's cannabis or vaping, the dangers of that I think, personally, I think that it would be really responsible of this body to be involved to that level, that we're giving messaging around the dangers and real messages, because I think as adults sometimes, and I've seen it, right, where we try to hide this from young people, but they already know, right? They can tell you all types of stuff about cannabis and vaping and things of that nature. So I don't think it's a matter of us hiding it. I think it's responsible of us to kind of do some prevention around the use of cannabis and vaping, to be quite honest. Because I see it here with this in the school I'm located in, like it's a huge problem.
Yeah, and to your point, which is a very important one of the things that we're going to do and continue to do is partner with our interagency folks, specifically Demas and others, to really shore up that initiative, because I know a lot of them are currently leading it, but sometimes it's just touching the surface and not getting down in the details as you've shared with us.
Okay, Thank you very much. And I yield.
Thank you.
I just have
Additional
one more.
questions? Oh,
Oh,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I got one more slide. It's important. I need y'all to see it.
Yeah.
So
Just want to make sure
next.
there's no more questions on the working group. I know that's
Oh
the
yeah,
latest.
sorry.
Okay, I think we're good.
All right. Can y'all come visit me, please? I have office hours. We're here in person every Tuesday. Please come. If not, I know you all are busy, so I'm available via Teams or Zoom. Just be sure to email Georgette. Our next regular council meeting will be on September 9th. September 9th. I know it's been a while, and hopefully you all have been receiving my email updates. But please, we are not meeting in person. It will be via Zoom. Our virtual roundtable for our social equity entrepreneurs will be at noon on Tuesday. So we have a busy day for SEC staff. Again, I've already shared with you the Council Market Outlook Working Group. That's on Wednesday, September 24th at the LOB. And then a list of all of our council committee meetings. We have our policy meeting on September 18th, our finance committee on September 18th, and lastly, our legislative committee meeting on September 24th. We will send out reminders to members of those committees. You all are welcome to attend. All meetings are via Teams. So please share that with your friends and family. That's it. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Cool.
Any other questions on the report? Not anything for the good of the order. If none, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Director McGee and staff for the update. And thank you for those emails because they do keep us well connected in between these quarterly meetings. So if anyone has anything else to follow up on, you know where to find all of us.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
All right,
Bye.
thank you. Good afternoon,
team.
everyone.